Welcome to your Key Discovery Point. I am Brett Burney from Nextpoint, joined by Doug Austin of eDiscovery today. Doug, 'tis the season. It is conference season right now. In fact, I just saw you last week at an eDiscovery conference, and I get to see you again next week as we're recording this at another large legal technology conference. I usually think of Legalweek as more focused on electronic discovery, although they cover all kinds of legal technology. And every year, you've got this lovely custom where you create a word cloud out of the agenda for Legal Week. And it's interesting to see what is going to be the hot topics. And I got to tell you, I remember you've done this for several years, and eDiscovery used to be a much bigger word in this word cloud, and it's not this year.
No, it's not, Brett. Yeah, what I do, as you can see there, if you see the word cloud, what I do is I basically take the titles and descriptions of all the sessions, strip out speakers and all that sort of stuff. And then I also strip out words that you wouldn't necessarily want to, care about, like session or include or attendees or things like that, and then generate a word cloud of the top 100 words. I'm sure that to nobody's surprise, AI is a big word in there,
Right.
and in fact, it appears 264 times, which is 14 more than last year. So it wasn't a huge jump this year. It was already really big last year. But keep in mind that this is a legal technology conference, yet
Right,
AI
right.
appears more than the word legal. It's the top word in the agenda. Then you add four more times of artificial intelligence and Gen AI occurring four more
Oh,
times, and it
okay.
even adds up a little bit more. Notably, one of the things I thought was most interesting this year is that the word agentic appears 35 times, but the word generative only appears 13 times. And even if you
Huh.
take Gen AI, that's four more times. That's still less than half of the use of the word agentic. So clearly, agentic AI is becoming much more of a focus in the agenda and the topics being discussed. And then you see several other words there. I usually try to get some of the top ones. Legal technology, because it's a legal technology conference.
Right.
43 and 43s with technologies. 43 and 15, I should say, with technologies. The word data is actually down, which I'm a little surprised by, 120.
Yeah.
Teams and law round out the top five at 82 and 80. And then we get to e-discovery. And as you noted, it's down this year and has been
Hmm.
really kind of trending downward for the past few years. Only eight times for e-discovery, which is 12 fewer than last year. And if you add e-discovery and just discovery, you get 9 and 22
Oh,
additional hits for a total of 39.
okay.
Last year we had 11. So the total of it, because there obviously are variations, but still down from last year. Then you get some other notable words there, workflows, risk, governance appears sometimes with information in front of it, sometimes other, uses of the word governance, strategies and value are all in there. And then I also look for things like privacy, which went way down this year. Last year we had 33 occurrences of the word privacy, this time only seven. Security slightly up at 18. Cyber and cybersecurity, five total, and those were down as well. And then really, while litigation appears 33 times and support appears 14 times, both of those terms are down. And we again have no occurrences of the term litigation support in the agenda, and really
Really?
we haven't had for the last 2 or 3 years.
Hmm.
And then finally, cloud appearing three times, but that's still two more than last year, which is again surprising
Okay.
that we only see three occurrences of the word cloud. So it's kind of an indication, I do it every year as kind of a fun little exercise to give an indication of the things that are being talked about a lot. And obviously AI and AI related terms are being talked about a lot, as well as, things like governance and agentic AI. And what have you. And so, you get a sense there by the size of the words, of course, which topics are being discussed the most in the agenda at Legal Week, which, of course, we haven't really talked about, but we'll be in a brand new place this year, Javits Center, which will be
Yeah.
interesting for us all to see how that unfolds. We will all be experiencing that for the first time, and it should be interesting to kind of work out our logistics after being so used to the Hilton for so many years and knowing where everything was.
Right.
It's going to be completely different this year, and it will be interesting to see, how people feel about that.
I think that's it. Like so many of us that have been going for so long are just a little leery and nervous about like we just got to find a way around. I mean, I think it had been at the Hilton for 34 years or something crazy like that. And many of us could like put on blinders and know exactly where to go in the Hilton and where the expo hall was and how to get to the other meeting houses and hotels across the street and everything. But this is going to be a little bit different. Although I have to say, I feel like ALM has been doing a good job of getting the word out. I'll even mention Level Legal. I think that you work with. You had a great post about they provide sort of like how to get around. So a lot of vendors I think are stepping up and providing at least some help or assistance to the extent that they can on this. And those are the logistics part. I always enjoy seeing your word cloud from the substance part. And quickly, just to be fair, in fact, we were going through this when I was working on with the ABA Tech Show. It's the word AI isn't just on its own. I mean, it's in there a lot just on its own. But any time today that we talk about litigation support or eDiscovery or operation systems or information management or knowledge management or compliance issues, I mean, all of that now has some component of AI. So I almost feel like, to be fair, whether even if we're talking about something boring, well, not that doc management systems are boring, but if we're talking about document management systems, like we still have to mention AI in there somewhere, just simply because that technology, whether it's just in its general sense of AI or Gen AI or agentic AI, whatever it is kind of getting baked into just about everything that we do in the legal industry today. So it doesn't surprise me, and obviously that's the big topic there.
Yeah,
I just went through this agenda yesterday myself because I was going through and saying, I need to make sure I know, which sessions that I want to go to. And I think that they have something crazy like 12 sessions at a time at some of these days. This is March 9th through the 12th. And there's just a lot going on. So, there's certainly something for everybody, no matter what it is that you're interested in learning about next week.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of sessions. Sometimes there's some really tough choices you have to make with so many sessions on against each other,
Right.
especially on Tuesday and Wednesday. One thing I'll also note, and I'll give a shout out to Greg Buckles. He's been tracking the number of
Yeah.
exhibitors and sponsors every year since I think 2008. And this year, exhibitors are way up, and the exact
good.
number is escaping me. And sponsors is the highest they've ever had. So the move to the Javits, at least so far, has worked quite well for ALM. And from what I understand, they are committed for several more years. So I think we can all get
right. It could be Eli Manning. That could
It
be
could
the
be
draw.
the only quarterback ever to beat Tom Brady twice in a Super Bowl. There you go.
He is the
how can you miss
keynote.
that?
He is the keynote speaker for Monday evening, and then Kelly, right from The Office, Mindy Kaling is going to be there for Tuesday morning. The Legal Week has been doing this the last several years. I mean, they had Bryan Cranston, they had several Rob Lowe, right?
Rob Lowe was
last week.
year. Yeah.
Which, some of us kind of go in thinking, really? Like, is that good for Legal Week? But I tell you, Doug, you were there too. I think last year at Rob Lowe's address, every seat was full. Like everybody wanted to see what he was going to say. It actually turned out interesting. His father is a longtime lawyer in Dayton, Ohio. It turns out anyway, just kind of interesting to see how a lot of that goes. And, it is the Super Bowl for a lot of us in legal technology. And I'm glad that you're going to be there. It's going to be good to see you. I know a lot of our friends are going to be there. And man, we're probably going to have a lot to talk about coming out of Legal Week as well, just because I think that excitement and the energy is there because it is a new place, from the other side of the angle there. And I'm glad that you shared that from Greg Buckles too. Greg's always great to cover a lot what's going on in Legal Week. So, woo, okay. Well, good luck. Safe travels. I'll see you there next week. And maybe we'll get a chance to talk to you next week. We'll see how that all turns out. Thanks, Doug.
We might have a key discovery point from the road next week if we can work it out. But yeah, it's exciting and looking forward to it. And thanks again, as always, for having me, Brett.